All right. So they got me in my bag. Like, oh man. So I guess from a view and subscriber perspective, this is like punching up. But as my channel grows, people are gonna come to realize that I'm like one of the final bosses of you talking stupid and having to come to see me. See, like Destiny said a lot of foolish things that, like, I realized. Shout out to AngryMan, salute to him. In an ironic, weird Matrix way, that I'm way more angry than he is, because I would have lost it on this guy for some of the things he said in this video. I don't know how people were so calm, but I'm not. So let's get to this video. This was a debate about culture, black culture, with a white guy and a couple of black guys. And I learned a couple of things about people and myself watching this. Because like I said, I realized how much I care about the culture. Thought I cared, but I realized how much, because I would have lost it on him. I would have. So I chopped this up. This is a 2-hour video he posted. I chopped it up. I haven't watched it all, so I chopped it up into pieces. So let's get straight to this.
You know, the new age way of thinking is the way we're supposed to do things.
I don't know what when you say like gotten it wrong. I mean, like if you want to talk about like do you believe like in the nuclear family?
Yes.
Like that's a really new concept. Hundreds of thousands.
It's really just wordplay. Nuclear family is a husband and a wife and some kids. So how is that a new concept? Like that's a new concept to you because you were just born and you are human. So like, it's not a new concept. Even like, what do you define new? What do you mean? It's not a new concept.
Of years of bioevolution is us living like together as like groups of people like hunting for berries and like chasing animals down. Like that's what hundreds of thousands of years of bioevolution have gotten us.
But that's what built up to it. That's what built up to it.
Okay, well then fine. Then I could just use your same argument and say, well, that's building up to this then.
That's a good point.
Oh no, it's not. It's not a good point, because how could having a husband and a wife build us up to the single life and all of these people? I don't need a man for nothing. How could that build us up to this? It's people who grew up with no parent or father in the home who don't see the value in it that led us up to this. Not the quote unquote nuclear family. That didn't lead us up to this.
Certain men's rights groups have repeatedly made this claim, okay, that mothers have an automatic advantage in custody cases. It seems obvious enough given that more than 90% of the children of divorced and single parents live with their mothers. But there's more to that statistic than meets the eye. Most divorcing or single fathers, roughly 90%, never ask for custody. In contested divorce and parentage custody cases, however, the father wins 60% of the time.
That sounds like to me that men are good dads, right or wrong? Correct me if I'm wrong. Why would the men win over half of the time when they contest it?
So if that's true, that completely blows up your entire narrative. Like in the broadest sense, red pill people seem to give advice about how men and women operate and like what they need to do to succeed, what men need to do to succeed. And I tend to disagree with a lot of the framing. And part of it plays into kind of what you just said, yeah.
Okay, so What part of the framing do you have a disagreement about?
I feel like men need to work a lot more on relationship skills, that it's something that they just don't have much practice with. And it feels like for red pill communities, the obsession is like just be more traditional or become a top 1%er, which is advice for like 1% of the population. I don't think it's like a road to success for most people.
It's a road. Listen, everybody's not going to get to the top 1%, but it's a road for everybody. And it's a reason why that people in the quote unquote red pill, I don't make red pill. I think I do make red pill type of content, but not, I make all type of content. But like, so like the reason why is because if you look at society, what's being pushed onto everybody. Oh, if I make 100K, he has to make 100K too. Well, 1%. So get your bag. But everybody's not going to get there.
Okay. Well, I would say that nowadays, most people don't really have good relationship skills.
Facts.
Not just men.
Facts.
Okay. I think I would disagree. Do you want to talk about that or?
Yes. 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 I do want to talk about that. Yes, I do. Want to know why? I have proof. The proof is you. You be on the internet. Go look. Go look at how people talk about dating. Oh, I'm not gonna cook for a man. Oh, I'm not gonna clean up for a man. Like literally clean up. Like there's people online, women online saying they're not gonna clean up for a man. Everything that involves the man, or that people have confused and twisted gender roles and things, like anything that involves living together, people have distorted it. So women have bad relationship skills too, and they're single, so they don't even, a lot of them don't have the practice to even have good ones. So what are you talking about? You disagree? Why do you disagree? You sound crazy. Women are preaching bad relationship skills. I just seen a video of a woman, I'm about to do a reaction to it. She said men like crazy women. No, they don't. So you just talking.
Correct me if I'm wrong. You have this concept that women have evolved and improved and made these changes and these leaps and bounds, and they kind of have just left men in the dust, right?
A little bit, yeah.
Wrong. And the reason why you're wrong is because, and see, now we got to go here. Now we got to go here, Destiny. People who just looked a little bit like you, kind of were like ruling the world and making it hard for women to do anything. So they were so far back and behind that they got to push. So now them being functioning members of society, which people who don't look like you are not used to and tried to prevent. So now you would make you think that, oh, they're doing better than you. No, they're just doing what we're doing. And you're not used to it because you tried to prevent it. With help, but we'll get to that.
My thing is, and I've stated this numerous times on my show, I think if you're not going into the STEM field, college is a waste of time and waste of money.
Okay, that's fine if that's your opinion, but one, that's not true, and two, there are other purposes to college, right? You can make money outside of STEM.
We can say that it's not. First of all, if you look at the way college is set up now, and you look at the amount of student loan debt that you're going to get into after 4 years at a university, going for anything other than STEM absolutely is a waste of time.
I actually disagree with that, but I get what he's saying in terms of making money.
One, you're assuming that.
But there's other fields to make money in. Them is the best ones, but there's other fields to make money.
There's so many bad assumptions here. I'm sorry. One, when you say waste of time, what you really mean is that the only thing you should be looking for, the only thing college should do is prepare you for a job. That's the only purpose of college.
Yes.
Okay.
See, now I agree with him. When he was saying just STEM, I disagree. But college itself, yeah. If it's preparing you for college, yes. If you got another reason you're going to college, and you probably wasting your time, like it's something to prepare you for making money some type of way. Maybe not a technical job, but a business or something. Yeah, why would you go? It's expensive. What are
That's
you going
not
for?
true, right? There are
Yes, it
important
is.
like fields of education that we would want people to do more research in. It's important to have people that such as I don't know, having like historians, having writers. A lot of women get jobs in education. Teachers are arguably some of the most
education teachers. Wait a minute. He just said that going to college to prepare you for a job was a waste of time. And he said, yes, it was. If you're not going to college to prepare for a job, you're wasting your time. You said you disagree. And now you're talking about different jobs. You said writers. What, you going to write a book and give it away, or are you going to sell it? Or are you just talking crazy? You said educators. Is this free, or are you getting paid to teach? It's a job. So what are you saying? And it's part of the reason why I said I disagree with him at the beginning, because it's different fields that you can get into that don't necessarily involve STEM that would take an education to have. But you disagreed with all over the place, but now you're proving the point. You're crazy.
Important people in society.
Historians, the vast majority of the history that they teach every single decade, we find out it's a lot of the shit is freaking lies.
Right.
Are you serious right now?
What do you mean?
Historians?
What do you mean by find out their lies?
Christopher Columbus. Do I have to, man? Don't waste my time.
From other YouTubers, or what do you mean?
From other YouTubers. From other YouTubers. From other YouTubers. YouTube.
By other people who go and do the research. It's
historians, right?
We find out this not. They
don't necessarily have to be historians.
Not formally trained.
Can you give me? Okay, I never do this in debates, and if you don't have the ability to do this, you don't have one off the top of your head. That's totally fine. I'm not trying to push you on like gotchas for anything. But like, can you give me like an example of like this is something that historians thought was one way, and then like an amateur investigator completely overruled and figured out that all the historians were wrong.
Let's try.
Yeah, and a lot of the stuff that they cancel from people for even saying those books, that like the one that Kyrie got in trouble for posting about. Yeah. So you don't want to push for gotcha moments. Why don't you look it up yourself? Like we said, they just found some mummies of people buried in Egypt or something like that. And it's always things we're finding out about Africa and culture and origin that go against things that we've been taught. The natives of this country. Things like that. You know. Stuff like that.
Because I think your perception of red pill or the manosphere is that just everybody over here just hates women, blah, 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 blah. I don't have an issue with women competing if they're actually competing. In other words,
let me elaborate before he do. It's a lot of like, okay, I'm gonna give you a personal example. I responded to a video that a lady made on TikTok, right? And she got mad, and then she told me, "Oh, I went with your 3 followers. Get some more followers." Now, they're in the middle of the black girl follow train. You see what I'm saying? So it's like you are being blessed with followers, and then you got the nerve to tell me get my followers up when you have someone in a group of people like a machine assisting you with followers. And you have the nerve to tell me to get mine up. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, it's not even a fair competition, but you're sitting here with your cocky attitude about it. So that's why he's saying, I don't have a problem with them competing if they're actually competing. Because in competition, someone wants to win. But if you're basically cheating, you're not really competing. And that goes for anybody, not just no women or anybody. That's anybody. That's everybody.
The playing field is level. But what we have going on today is not a level playing field. We have a rigged game.
That's what he's right.
I don't know if following is that's a stupid loaded term. Let's hold on, wait,
you're getting sensitive over terminology.
No, I'm not getting sensitive over terminology. I just want to be clear with their terms, okay? Here's fact number one. Most men are followers. Most men are not leaders, okay? So most people in general are followers.
But men are not.
I disagree. I listen. Men are not, they're not manager type of leaders to where the responsibility of everybody doesn't want that. And people aren't free thinkers for real. Most people aren't free thinkers. But I will tell you this. You can't tell people what to do. So most men, you cannot tell them what to do. If they have a choice, they are not just going to be told what to do. So I disagree with you from that aspect. But as far as a free thinker, most people are not that. I agree with that. So if that is his idea of following, then yeah, most people are followers. But in terms of do this, go do this. But most people don't go out and disagree with the norm. Like most people don't disagree with the norm or the masses, but you couldn't tell them what to do. So I disagree, but it's wordplay.
Actually more rebellious than women are. And the reason why is because men are not natural followers.
Work only works if you have one manager and many employees. The army only works if you've got one general and many soldiers. A country only works if you've got one president and many constituents. Most people are followers. Society only works. That's why there's the whole phrase, too many chiefs and not enough Indians.
Now, as soon as he said this, I'm like, yo, you proving his point. That phrase came from people trying to be the boss. What are you saying? Like you're backing yourself into a corner. Now he gonna bring that up because it was just obvious. That was just low-hanging fruit to be like. So I had to bring up how obvious that was. He gonna say it on his own, but I'm like, yo, what are you talking about? Like, you're proving the point.
Thing you just said something that gave validity to my point. Where do you think the term "there's too many chiefs and not enough Indians" comes from? The reason you have that term is because every time you have a group of men following another man, there's always a subset of men that's trying to overthrow that man. So no, they're not naturally followers. Men will follow until they're in a position to take over.
Right. They just don't want the responsibility of a leader. Like people don't want to be held responsible for everything going wrong or most things going wrong or be blamed for stuff. It's happening anyway, but people don't want that, but they want the glory of it. They want to be the leader. They want to be the person to lead. Like, no, people are not natural. Men, no, get out of here with that. Men are not natural followers. But people aren't free thinkers, though.
The reason actually, no, it doesn't take two to tango. And the reason why is because what's going on in the black community is you have a large group of women that are actually having sex with multiple men, having children with multiple men. You actually have twice as many women in the black community have children as the men. Twice as many.
Yeah, but why is that?
I'll tell you why that is. Because they like the same type of guys. And if you are doing something or look a certain way, a lot of women will like that guy. This is why Future who's a rapper, tall, girls think he look good, and then money. This is how he gets the women. And then you could be a lower level of that, depending on who you are in your neighborhood, whether it be some type of illegal activity or just a good job or just whatever. You could be that same person, and women gravitate towards the same type of things. So these are the guys who are getting the women. And then it's always been the same way, but I'm just talking about right now, we live in like a sneaky link culture. So you don't even know what's going on with people because they're not even saying anything. So, guys are just running through the same girls. That's why. That's exactly why.
There are some cities where there's like 3 black women for every 1 man that's not in jail, right? Depending on the city that you live in, the availability for some of these black women to even find a guy, the competition is fierce.
So that means sleep with the same one. And why do you keep every time? Listen, we'll get to you, but see. So that means sleep with the same one because the competition is fierce. Just have babies with the same dude. Competition fierce, so we'll just sleep with the same dude. We good. And you think women are okay with that, or is that your excuse, or what you doing? Which one is it?
Because you don't. Here's the thing, because this is what you're not getting. It's not a choice that they're making because it's the best choice in the sense that when I do this, I'm gonna have an awesome life. You're already dealing with a group of people who are already at the bottom of the socioeconomic ladder.
If this was true, why do black women do abortions more than any other group of people? Shouldn't they be having the most children then to take advantage of all the welfare?
What? You man. First of all, this is probably where you start to begin to get cooked. I was trying to be nice to you. Listen to me. First of all, that would imply that women would just be having kids for a check. And then you said that they should do that because they are getting, it is a benefit to it. So you're saying since you get these benefits that you do get, you should be having more kids. Completely ignoring the responsibility of the kid, the burden of having another kid, the financial responsibility that WIC and these things don't cover. She's just being irresponsible. Is that your advice? Black women should have more babies to take advantage of welfare? Because I know you're not ignoring the actual facts of the benefits of. Is that what you're doing? I think that's what you're doing. Seems like it. Seems like it.
How many women do you think in the black community that get pregnant? How many of them, roughly, what percentage of them are just looking for a welfare check? Just so I can get an idea of where you think the scale is.
I could tell you how many are pregnant out of wedlock, which I think is a little above 70-some%. But so far as their motive, that would be a little harder to pin down.
Right.
Because I'm not saying that all of them. What I'm saying is that is a cultural trend. And the reason why it's a trend is because you have women that will school their daughters to do that.
Yeah, I guess I'm just curious because I'm sure it's happened. I'm not going to tell you it's never happened. But I'm just curious, where you think, do you think this is 2% of the community, which would be pretty fucked up? Or do you think it's 50% of the community that's super fucked up? I'm just curious what you think the number is.
All right, let's put a number on it. I don't know. We'll say, and this is a weird thing to even talk about. So we'll say about, it ain't a high number. I ain't gonna say no women doing that. Damn, women who are getting the check, women who are having babies for a check, 5%. And I've seen it joked about on Facebook. 5%. That's low. We'll say 1%. How about that? We'll say 1%. We'll drop it down to 1%. But I've seen it joked about on social media. Oh, it's tax time. Oh, I need to have another baby before this is fiscal time and all that shit. So I've seen it joked about. I don't know if who's going through. Let's say 1%. Yeah, we'll go 1%. It ain't a lot doing that. So it ain't a lot, but it happens though.
Then I'll do research on it later. I'll try to look it up, I guess.
I've literally never thought about, because where would you get a census for that? Where,
right.
Well,
that's
yeah,
it.
but the issue is that, like, yeah, I guess the issue is that you're content to blame, or it feels like it. Maybe I'm getting a bad rating. You correct me, but it feels like you're content to blame the majority of the black community's problems on black women. I don't see that. Like, I don't see like.
I don't agree with that. I think the problems need to go for the people who are causing problems, and it's more women than men. So like, there's a lot of problems that they're causing, and you can't just put it. Listen, even if they can't just be like, oh, well, the men are deadbeats, because you're part of the problem too. So everybody needs to hold their own. See, accountability is a bad word. So like, people need to be accountable for their role in it. So it's not no majority. It's not no this or that. It's everybody. It's more than a majority. It's every single person. That's who needs to be responsible.
Single moms looking for assistance from the government as like a negative thing.
Listen, that right there was very white of you to say. I might add, that was very white of you to say that looking for single moms looking for assistance for the government as a bad thing, because what you fail to realize is that it's based on money. If you're making a certain amount, you're not gonna get that from them. So the people who are getting that don't make enough money to do it on their own. So if there was more money or more opportunities for these women, then so why are we gonna talk about opportunities? Well, they need more then. How about that? So they wouldn't be on this assistance. But a lot of them don't have any job skills or any, type of skills that would make money. But I'm just saying, for people in general, this is why they're on that. So that was naive of you to say, because it is a bad thing, because it's bad to not have enough money to need assistance from the government. So the actual assistance itself for people who need it is not bad, but the reason why they actually need it is because they probably wish that they had enough money to where they didn't have to have it. And it's a lot of people who started off on it and then got that job or got that diploma or degree, and then now they're not on it anymore because of how much money they make. So it is a bad thing, but you're just naive.
Because the question is, why do they outnumber men 3-1? It's because a lot of the guys are getting locked up.
Okay, and I think
why every time you think about black men, you think about being locked up. That's not why they outnumber men 3-1, because there's just more women than men. There's more of y'all. There's more women than men, period. So like, it's a lot of factors to that. It's not just jail. What are you talking about?
I think that that is the man's fault as well, right?
Sure.
But in general, even outside of the men that are being locked up, there's 1 million more black women than there are black men, right? In your earlier statements, you said that they were the backbone of the community. If you have a backbone of a community and the community is failing, then I think you have some ability to place responsibility on what you said that backbone was.
Well, yeah, but I mean, like, they're not the backbone because women want to be the leaders of the black community. But that's essentially what's happened in a lot of these communities.
Tell that to the.
I'm on the fence with that statement. I don't think women want to work as much as they do, but in terms of like leadership in the black community, you're right. Because what are you even talking about when you say the leaders of the black community? So I'm on the fence with that statement, because there is people who do want to lead and think that they're better than men and think all that stuff. So it's like, I'm on the fence with that statement, but I almost agree with it.
Squad that women don't want to be the leaders of the black community. It looks, as you said before, they're doing better in school. They're certainly making all the steps to become those
they
leaders.
do, because they have to, because black men have failed them.
Stop, because I'm about to light your ass up again. If y'all see, I have a video going on a 9-minute rant about that very statement, and I'm about to light your ass up some more. I got more to say. First of all, they failed themselves with the black men that they chose, and they don't want to be that accountable for it. They failed themselves with their arrogance. See, because you hear them say, oh, I can get any man I want. But what you don't ever hear is the responsibility in the tone when they say it. It's always arrogance. So that any man they want is the person you're saying failed them. Because you're wrong. But for the people that you are right about, the deadbeats, they picked those guys. They picked them based off something stupid, too. Most times. So they failed themselves with their selection process. If you listen to it, it's completely remedial. So let's be real about that. You already know your role in it, but I'm going to tell you some more that you did. Your people, not you. Y'all, you want to talk about black leadership? Y'all burnt down churches. Y'all burnt down homes. Medgar Evans got, what was that? Blew up at his job. So, the black male leadership, I roughly mentioned, so you want to talk about Joe Biden. I roughly mentioned Ronald Reagan putting the drugs in the car, but now I want to elaborate on it. See, Oliver North, you heard of him? They actually funded a war with drug money that they got from putting drugs into the hood. They were selling drugs. They were creating a whole entire epidemic. And what they also created was a broken culture. It was almost like a genocide because you had a lot of people strung out. Now they're not functional. That created a lot of bad mothers. So now you got that era of people. A lot of them grew up with strung out parents. So now they raised kids, but they never had a full parent experience, or they were raised in a drug culture. And some of them felt like, oh, this is what they had to do in terms of doing the drug or selling the drug. Some women, since you want to talk about the black culture, some women were actually sold by their mothers to get themselves the next hit. But the hit was brought to them originally by people who look like you. And then, not only, first of all, they gave the black men the drugs. Remember, he said Biden? It wasn't Biden. It was Reagan. So when Reagan put the drugs in the car, they still was locking people up for selling them. So even though we gave you the drugs, you're going to jail for selling them. Not to mention the people who are in jail for weed, but weed is legal and they're making trillions of dollars off of it as a government. State by state. Metro tons of it being sold on a daily. So who really failed them? Who really failed who? Not to mention all the leaders that you're ignoring. The men that just stay out the way and raise their kids. You crazy, man.
Okay.
Because black men are looking back to legislation from 30 years ago saying Biden put drugs in my car. I had to carry a gun. Like all of these.
If you
And let's talk about a gun. This all came from gang culture, drug culture, which is black men's fault. It definitely is. But it's been perpetuated also by people who look like you making money off it, and it's population control. They want it to happen. They love it happening because it's a lot of degenerate level people in their minds who aren't making any money, who aren't useful to society. Let them kill each other off. That's how they feel about it. So you want to know why people felt like they had to have a gun? You want to know why? Because remember the drugs Biden put in the car? Remember that? The streets became dangerous because you had people now robbing to get that hit. People robbing each other for the money that they made off of that. You had people who now people making money, or now it's people who weren't making any money. Then when I want to take that money from them. And it's a perpetuating cycle. And then now it's people who have to carry guns for protection from those people who ain't got nothing to do with nothing, but they want to be protected from it. So now they have to carry a gun. All because they were poisoned with a drug. It's crazy how life works.
make up, if I go to a community and you make up the majority voter base, right? Also, another reason why I think that the blame should be at least somewhat at somebody's feet is because who's consuming most of that welfare spending?
Yeah, well, it would make sense that black women are, because black men run from their families, right?
Oh.
Boy, what? First of all, I don't know who gave you the confidence to be disrespectful and low-key racist, but you done ran your mouth too damn much. You know you done fucked up, right? First of all, no, they don't. Second of all, listen, man, it's the responsibility of a mother to be with someone who is a father before you have a kid with them. A lot of women don't do that. They don't pick men based off things like that. A lot of people do not think about the kid while they're having sex. They're thinking about their personal selves. And a lot of people thinking about their personal, men too, are thinking about their personal selves after the kid is even born. So you done lost your damn mind talking about black men run from their families. You sound stupid. They raise their families. Or they're not fathers to begin with. So it was never running from the family. They was running from the girl who they was just having sex with. And now the kid is involved because it was a side effect of the sex. And they don't have the emotional attachment to it, the child, because they were just trying to get laid. So that also is at least we'll say 30% responsibility of the woman to vet properly, to not be with a guy that just looks at them like some type of booty call, to where if she got pregnant, he would say, "Oh no, I'm straight. Hell no." We'll give her 30% blame for that. We'll give her 30. But that's high though. So you're crazy as hell.
So
let me say this. First of all, the women are not taking care of the children. Most of these children are wards of the state. They may have.
Hold on. I want to say this. This little rant right here, I seen a woman react to this on TikTok. She was wrong, but basically they tried to wordplay him because he said that these kids was wards of the state, but what he was saying was like he wasn't saying actual wards of the state. Like men know how men communicate. He broke it down, but she tried to wordplay and give statistic of the actual wards of the state when that's not even what he was saying. You know what I'm saying?
As well be. The state is taking care of those children. The food stamps is feeding them. Section 8 in public housing is putting a roof over their head. These women are not doing anything except presiding over these children. Not to mention the fact that there is an epidemic in the black community of children being abused. And if you go...
And now, hold on. We getting into a slippery slope because I'm not about to blame, like, if the kids, I think you're gonna get into saying the percentage of the that it's the mothers at the home when that's happening. So I'm not about to say that if a kid being abused is because the mother's a bad mother. Hell no. You know what I'm saying? That's a slippery slope to even say. Like, that's just a statistic that's like, it's dangerous to even touch because I'm not about to automatically say that if that's happening, it's because you a bad mother. Hell no. But you can't rule it out either. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, that's too sensitive of a topic to be like trying to point the blame that caused somebody a bad mom. Like, no. Because, you know what I'm saying? No. Because a lot of women have risked their life over for their kids. And then like they condoned it. You know what I'm saying? And you know, so it's a lot of variables to where like you can't touch that topic. Not like this. Not
look up the stat on that. The majority of the time that they're being abused is when they're in the custody of their mothers.
If you think the majority of black men aren't in,
see, I ain't gonna do that. That's slippery right there. I ain't gonna do that.
Their households of their children because of like judges. I don't like. You could never give that. No, there's no stat. There's no way you could ever swear. That's just an insane.
What I can do is I can look at.
Well, listen. What you need to do is have life experiences, and then you would understand.
I can look at where custody is being awarded. I can look at where the welfare money is being distributed, right? I can look at, so for example, even what you said earlier about women getting houses, I can look up something as simple as Section 8 vouchers. You're making it seem like these women are just, you know, that they just had to do this hard job of taking care of their child. If it wasn't for Section 8 welfare, food stamps, and a court system, you don't know what would happen.
Well, yeah, because working and taking care of a kid at the same time is not possible. You need help.
Right, but the point is, the point is this. If all of this didn't exist and it wasn't incentivized for certain people, which now I might have to take the notch up from the, what did I say, 1%? Might have to go up a little bit. If it wasn't incentivized, it wouldn't be as much of it.
You can't do that as a single parent. So when you say, where is the welfare money going? Probably going to the people that have the child, which is going to be the mothers, of course. But like Section 8 and food stamps is not...
Who's giving the mother the child?
I mean, both of them are, right?
The court.
We just said that the court system 90% of the time gives the child to who?
Why do you think 90% of the time the mother...
Why are you saying why down? No. You just said that. Was it because you said it'd be crazy to think that the kids were with the mothers because of judges? Now, when he's telling you the statistics of it, you're saying, why do you think that is? No, why do you think that is? Because he just told you it was, and you said it's crazy. You're crazy.
There is getting the child.
Because I think our court system has a bias towards giving children to women and ruling against men.
So I just want to hear this so it could be.
I agree with that.
Stated because it's ridiculous. You think
No, it's
that
not.
at least 50% of those black men would have fought to keep their children over the mom? You think that?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, I don't know what to
I think,
say.
I think if those black
either
men,
I'm totally clueless, or you guys are lying to like make a point. Yeah.
No, you're totally clueless. That's what it is. You're totally clueless. That's exactly what it is. You clueless. You're clueless. That's what it is. You're totally clueless. I'm glad you said that. That's what it is.
We're this way with the fact that like it's only like a few black men are knocking up like 50 women. Like you're telling me those men, if it's only a few men that are fucking over all of the women giving the babies, are those guys just trying to find a kid that they can eventually keep, or what's going on there? Would that guy want to keep every child, or what?
No, those are the
why are you asking about him? Why is he getting all the poo poo? No, he's not trying to do any of that. He's a deadbeat.
Deadbeats. That's why I cited that stat, 8%. Those are the deadbeat guys. No guy of any value is going to try.
Let me say something. The difference is, right, that those men don't get handouts from the government and sympathy from people such as yourself when they do those things.
Wait, but you could.
And no, you couldn't. Let me tell you why. Because you don't understand. First of all, those guys, I would hope, is making some money. So they don't qualify for, a lot of them, most of them are making some money. And that's why a lot of the women want them. So they don't qualify for this assistance. That's why he's saying it.
Women. So you're telling me there's a massive amount, those men get, the type of men that do that get Section 8 as much as women?
If you have a child, isn't the Section 8 qualification only based on income? And
hell no. Well, it's based on income, but if you have it, listen, man, you think women just want to date a broke dude? No, they want to date a guy with some money, and the men that have money get a lot of women, and then they might mess around and get some of those women pregnant, but they might not want to be responsible for that. What are you talking about, Destiny?
And you also get the same tax write-off. You get the same.
Look at how.
But why do black men have this unique problem, and all these same welfare systems exist for white people, for Indian people, for Asian people as well?
What?
Why do black men have this unique problem? Did you really ask that question?
Well, number one.
Did you really just ask that question? Is the question that I want to know. Let's run that back. Let's hear him say that again. Cause yeah, he really just said that, y'all. Let's hear him say that one more time.
And then you also get the same tax write-off. You get the same.
Look at how.
But why do black men have this unique problem, and all these same welfare systems exist for white people, for Indian people, for Asian people as well?
Why do black men have this unique problem? Did you really ask that question?
Well, number one.
Racism, discrimination, hatred for the black man, jealousy of the black man. Yeah, that's about the best answer that I can give you without just like violating some type of standard and getting my video took down and getting some type of warning or strike or whatever. Like yeah, that's pretty much what it is, yo. Cause you that is egregious. That is egregious right there. And the fact that you don't know the answer to the question is really like just goes to show the world we live in and how people are just sheltered to their own thoughts and lives. That's ridiculous.
When it comes to black culture specifically, there are two things that are being promoted in our music, which has a huge effect on our culture, which is for the guys, gang
by people who look like you. Let me add that in, because now you've been pissing me off.
culture, crime, drug dealing is constantly promoted. For the girls, promiscuity, acting like thoughts, that is constantly promoted. So when you have that going on, you have more young boys that are more prone to go out here and be part of gangs because they want to be part of something, or to go out here and sell drugs because they may have grown up with a mom that didn't have any money. And the other part of this is women tend to, when they're single mothers, they tend to look at their sons as a meal ticket. Oh, he's going to grow up and go do this, or he's going to go out and go do this and help with the household because that's the little man of the house, right? So you got that going on. On the flip side of that, you got the girls growing up, going out here, getting into the party lifestyle, all of that different stuff, getting pregnant. Sometimes they don't even know who the damn father is. Why do you think you had the emergence of these goofy shows back in the 90s where you are not the father, all of that goofy stuff? There's a lot of stuff that factors into that.
Right.
Okay, so nothing you told me can be proven, right? There's no number, there's no data. It's just,
yo, what?
it's like your stories. I could try to find most of
Not no stories. You need life experience. You sitting up here on your computer trying to live your life through somebody's research. Of course, facts and data is important, but you need life experiences to justify those numbers for yourself. Like, what are you talking about? Like, a lot of people, when they hear certain numbers, if they know a lot of people who fall in line with that stuff, they can listen and be like, you right. Some stuff you know isn't true by your life.
divorcing or single fathers, roughly 90% never ask for custody. In contested divorce and parentage custody cases, however, the father wins 60% of the time. So if that's true, that completely blows up your entire narrative.
Would you like me to?
First of all, that's divorce cases. So like if it's a marriage, it's a different dynamic. So, and it blows up your theory about black men failing their it seems like they're not. So you sound stupid either way. Either way, you dumb. Either that's that doesn't apply. Either that's that it doesn't apply and you dumb for bringing it up, or you just dumb for
answer why that is.
Yeah, let me see that.
Because I can tell you why that is if you really want to know.
Yeah, because usually they don't go to court because they don't have the funds or whatnot. But go ahead.
They don't. Here's
wait, and single moms do have the funds to go to court?
Here's the thing. No, wait a minute. Here's the thing. Because I had this issue when I first got on YouTube in 2015. There was a guy that I used to deal with that would actually help guys go to court. And the problem he kept encountering is most guys did not want to go to court to fight for custody because they believed they would automatically lose.
But 60% win. Most fathers win when they contest.
Know that. That's
that's another fault of black men. That's more black men problems if they don't know that then.
No.
But you have to realize, for black men culturally, the court is a place where they believe they're always going to lose. Okay, that's just a cultural thing. All right, we can't get around that. Now,
there's no way to get around that. Come on.
No, I'm saying we can't get around the fact that is a cultural thing they believe. Now,
do you want to know why, Destiny? Want to know why? Because black men don't have to go back to some bill from 30 years ago. They can just go to how they're treated in the court system now. 2 years ago, 3 years ago, 5 years ago, 10 years ago. So the way they feel that way because the court system itself was designed against them. Destiny, did you know that the prison system was created the year slavery was abolished? You know that, Destiny? So no, there is no way around for how black people think about the court system because it's against them, especially men, especially black men. Why you want to talk about the leadership? Lead that.
Are right that the court won't serve the person, but that's because it's your responsibility. If you like, you're not going to have your wages garnished for child support when you were never served anything. There's no possible way that's true. And this is saying here that if the other parent is not served within 120 days, your complaint will be dismissed and you'll have to start all over.
You don't even know. Hold on.
You're just talking.
You don't know because you didn't go through it. Okay.
I can't argue against your story. I can only go by like what's true. What I can.
See, this is like telling of the whole entire world. He's sitting up here trying to argue with somebody telling him experiences. And he's talking about his computer. I can't argue with your stories. I can only go with what's true. I can't argue with your stories. I can only go with what's true. Do you have any stories that are true? Or is your whole life Googleable? You're weird.
There are dudes that are in households with women that went and did this because they didn't know any better. And now the guy that is living in the house with the woman owes child support to the woman that's in the same household as him.
Now, since you can't argue with my stories, let me tell you one. I know a dude who was married and on child support. Married to her and they lived together. And he was on child support. You want to Google that? Want to look that up? Want to argue with my stories? Or you believe me? So like, I'm going to get the rest of this argument because you was talking so stupid, bro. And I realize why now. It took me that long to realize it when you started only having data to argue with, which is a good argument. But when you stop listening to reality to try to Google something, this is where you lose the argument at. And it's really kind of silly that we've now allowed this disrespect of the culture. This is what we get. This is what we get. We get Destiny sitting up here Googling about the culture, talking about black men said Biden put drugs in their car. Boy, I tell you. Pure ridiculousness. Y'all be good.